Welcome back to the program. Got on the phone right now to start out with your defending fathers in this segment, Triston Cole, who's on with us. Triston, welcome to the program.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Triston. I reached out to you last night. You're down in Lansing today. What are you doing down there?
I am. I just got out of I'm standing outside the House office building right now after giving a little testimony about farm stand legislation that I've been working on for about 5 years, and Rep. McMaster has introduced this, and it's moving forward finally.
Excellent. What exactly is the proposed legislation all about?
Well, what we've got right now, guys, is under current building code for farm stands, direct sales on the farm of zucchinis and sweet corn and whatnot. If the customer goes inside the stand, say you've got a small stand and you can close the door at night, but the folks go inside to pick up their little bag of cherries. Under current Michigan building code, you would have to comply with a drinking fountain, a bathroom, handicap access, and potentially fire suppression, depending on how big your stand is, and which is just a huge weight to put on a small farmer that's only going to sell a few $1,000s worth of product just seasonally. And so we're fixing that issue right now.
And this legislation, Greg's introduced it there in the House. Has he reached out to any senators to see if somebody will sponsor it over there in the Senate?
Yes, absolutely. It is being introduced by Senator Boer on the Senate side.
Excellent. And what is it? Actual changes, or is it a new law that repeals that other stuff, or how does it work?
What it is it is a change and not brand new. It's not a new law. It's just changing existing law, existing code to exempt us farm stands from the plumbing and electrical requirements. Which would be the different outlets and all of that you'd have to have in order to open your stand to the public. You still do have to get a building permit. You still have to, have a safe structure. It doesn't change that at all.
Sure.
But one of the big things I wanted to make a point on is man, down here in Lansing, people are in love with regulation and trying to regulate what we do on our private property. It's just amazing.
Well, we are the most regulated state in the country, so that doesn't really surprise anybody.
Yeah, they're just so in love with that. There is a couple of folks on the committee that we're worried about. They don't understand. A lot of the urban folks don't understand how it is up north on the farm, and they were worried about the setback and blocking vision on the roadway, which was kind of funny to me. I never thought about that. Being from northern Michigan, we've already got the setbacks with our farm buildings, and that was one of their big concerns, that we were going to block visibility with our farm stands.
Oh, you're going to put them out on the shoulder of the road.
Right, which isn't the case at all. It was just kind of funny. We take for granted in northern Michigan our freedoms and how relaxed things are up north, but in many parts where the high populations of voter centers are, it's not like that, and they're very highly regulated.
One of the things I wanted to have you on about is because this is single-handedly an issue that you have basically led on, talking to your state reps, talking to the senators about it, working with Farm Bureau and everything. But this is something where basically you have a excellent situation here where one person based difference on this.
Well, it is, and one of the things I'd like to stress to folks, when you have an issue that you're working on, this started on July 17th of 2008, so in nearly 5 years to get this to this point. And you just never give up on your issue. Continue working, and you can accomplish it. And Farm Bureau has been just an enormous asset. They often get labeled as an organization for big agriculture. And well, let me tell you, I'm not big agriculture. I'm a little guy. And Farm Bureau has done so much to help the small farmer. It's just amazing. So I want to make sure that people realize that Farm Bureau is not just about big agriculture.
Right. And again, you being one person and staying on this for, over almost 5 years?
Almost 5 years on this one. And, last year we passed some legislation that changed the DOT laws. And that one happened really fast. That also originated on our farm. which took the DOT regulations back up to 26,000 pounds gross vehicle weight from the 10,000 pound mark. So it's been very, very exciting to be part of two pieces of legislation. Hopefully, McMaster's goal is to have this signed by the governor, this farm stand legislation, sometime in early July, so that we would all be legal for our seasonal sales this summer and fall.
Yeah, so you start harvesting this later this year, and you'll be able to get around all this over-regulation.
Right, because basically what it is now, even though it's current Michigan law, these requirements for these buildings, it's not enforced in most counties, by the county building inspector. Our county, Antrim County, it is enforced, and as much as I don't like it, my building inspector is right. He is following the law, and so we need to change that law so he can continue to be right, and we have the freedom to sell direct to the public. Farmers have sold direct since there were farmers. They've always sold their excess to the community, and it's a great outreach. To get, where farmers are less than 2% of the population. And so an issue comes up, we lose because we're outnumbered and not understood, what goes on in agriculture. So the more direct sales we can do on the farm gets more people on the farm to have a better understanding of what agriculture is all about.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you calling in, and Darren Lansing, right from the Capitol, Triston Cole, and we greatly appreciate you calling in and giving a field report on it.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it very much. Have a good day.
Hey, thanks, Triston.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So right there, one individual taking up an issue and getting engaged with his legislators, Brian, and making a difference.
Can't believe farmers make up only 2% of the population in Michigan, as much as farming is part of our industry. Stick around. Final half hour coming up. We're your defending fathers.